we'll get over it. I don't think you and I really hang on to things for very long. We move on pretty quick. All right, I think we should be good here. All right, hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Nadal.
I'm Jamal,
and welcome to this week's episode 8 of the Film Planet podcast. And today we're going to be breaking down a couple things, mainly consisting of the review for Den of Thieves, which we saw Saturday morning, and then we'll kind of give our reaction to the Tomb Raider trailer, and then we have some pretty exciting news, especially for this guy over here, relating to his top 10 list. But we'll get to that in due time. So let's go ahead and start things off with Den of Thieves. What were your initial thoughts on that? As usual, your hot take on it.
Good action movie. It took a lot of influences from like previous action movies like Heat, Fast and Furious, etc. So, but the acting was solid. But I think the problem I had with the movie was it was kind of like you didn't care about any of the characters. It was good, like you sort of towards the end. Yeah. Like you stated, you cared about them, but it wasn't like, dang.
There's like, man, that just fair warning. This is also going to be a spoiler filled as well. But whenever they died, they died in unceremoniously ways. I don't know. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sorry, but there was no like big bang shootout how they died and stuff. It was just they got shot while running.
It was a good shootout.
Well, no, the shootout what I'm talking about is while they're getting away, the way they died, like they weren't. You see what I'm saying?
It just wasn't no gravitas.
Exactly.
The characters
I guess that's what I'm looking for.
It was the characters weren't like
there was no impact to each of their deaths.
Right, they were just there.
Exactly, they were just kind of present. It was, and I feel like the film was also trying to do a power struggle between Gerard Butler's Nick's character and Merriman, the lead thief.
Yeah,
they were trying to do like a power struggle. And that fell flat. There were certain things that just didn't make any sense. Like they wanted to have the power struggle, they tried it, it fell flat. So the movie just forgot about it and moved on. And then another thing is, while this was an action flick, it was also a heist movie. Mm-hmm. And heist movies need that tension-related issues to kind of fall back on and get the audience invested not only in the characters but the actual what are they stealing, why are they stealing it. There was no are they going to get away with this, are they going to fail stuff like that. But the tension while it would build would just end up falling short because something broke you from that tension. For whatever reason, it was a caveat of things that would break you from it, but it just felt lackluster in that tension. I like the tension to spill over, kind of like an Ocean's flick. Is the tension would build, and then it would just spill over, and then you would find out the intricacies.
But do you feel that way because in Oceans or Italian Job and even Fast and Furious, those characters are really likable.
They are. No, it plays a part.
These characters weren't really likable,
but they were set up to be likable. That's one thing I would argue is that you look at the characters and you feel like I could like these characters.
They had moments of flashes, exactly, like O'Shea Jackson. He was the most likable. 50 Cent. He had a scene with his daughter going to prom that was pretty funny.
That was funny. Now I'll say that, and I'm probably being a little harsh on it. That also felt like a tension break to me because of where it happened in the movie.
But where did it happen?
It happened like towards the end of the middle of it.
But it was a scene where it was just showing off his family.
I get that. I'm not hating it. I'm just saying I'm probably being a little harsh on it.
I think you're being a little harsh because you're saying breaking up tension, but that was one of the few scenes that tried to get you involved in these characters' lives.
That's true.
And make them likable or relatable.
Now that you say that actually makes perfect sense.
It wasn't executed well, but that was one of the few scenes that made that effort.
And they tried quite a few times to make you like the characters, because like I said, there was a power struggle between Gerard Butler, Nick, and Merriman, the lead thief. They both were the leader of their own group of bad apples.
Yeah.
The cops in this, if you go watch it, they are in no way, shape, or form. They are the good guys because they carry badges.
Right.
That is where there's a period. It doesn't go any further than that. They simply did not. Those were the bad guys, and they wanted you to like the thieves. And I think it's because they wanted you to feel when those characters died.
The movie is named Den of Thieves.
Yeah, they wanted you to like the thieves a lot, to the point where they do leave civilians alive. They don't have a no witness kind of thing. They don't kill civilians. They only shoot at uniforms. Because they were all Marines. Well, most of them were Marines.
Mm-hmm.
I think all but 50 Cent's character wasn't a Marine.
I thought he was a Marine.
No, he played football with one of the characters. The guy who died at the very beginning, he played football with him at high school.
Right.
So that's why that was there. But everyone else was a Marine, so they didn't shoot civvies. And the Gerard Butler's character specifically says that in the film. They don't shoot civilians, they only shoot uniforms. And that was another attempt at the writer to try and get you to like the thieves more. Because it did not feel like the cops really cared about anyone else but themselves. Yeah. There was a distinct disconnect. They did not want you to like the cops. They were all divorced. The
black cop was extra harsh on 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Like the Uncle Tom stereotype.
Yeah, it was... It was clear who the film wanted you to like and who wanted you to hate.
But it wasn't executed.
But what ended up happening is you just didn't really... You liked some of the characters, but you didn't really care what happened at the end.
But the plus is the action was really good. It was well choreographed.
Oh, yeah. The choreographed, the cinematography, I have it here in my notes, is probably my favorite shot. Not favorite shot of the film, but it was just a nice little shot that you don't see anymore. Is in the middle of a shootout in the middle of traffic on the highway. They have the camera pan out, and you gotta remember these people have military training. So one's shooting and the other one's going backwards into cover trying to escape. While all that's happening, the camera pans up and it's just bullet fire back and forth, and it pans all the way from the thieves to the cops and then back around.
But that goes back to almost what I was saying about Heat. That's how Heat was.
Exactly, yeah.
Like when Val Kilmer in the armored truck, it kind of had the same type of Michael Mann influence.
Even Bad Boys 2 did it whenever they were fighting the Jamaicans in the house. The way it panned around while they were.
But even because now that I think about it more and more, this movie has a lot of the director Michael Mann influence. Because even though that movie, I know it was a crappy movie, I was disappointed because I thought it was going to be good. Yeah. Black Hat, that was a Michael Mann movie, but even like the action, it was shot similar.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's the cinematography was good. You could tell they were attempting to go for a certain feel. They actually somewhat got it. The world felt real. It felt invested in the world. The LA felt gritty. That was probably, all credit to the second unit team and obviously the director at the same time. But it was, the world felt alive, breathing, but also felt dirty, damp, and gritty. Which most heist movies are the exact opposite. Italian Job, Oceans are very clean cut, flashy, Hollywood type heist.
Because this had more action elements as well. But
and the heist, another thing I would like to put on here is the heist itself was a pretty smart heist, especially once you get the twist in there.
Yeah.
The heist was a very well thought out heist. I would like to see that kind of concept on a heist happen again in another movie.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty good heist. I like the just the way it was executed, the way it was thought out. But like again, you're not invested in those characters during the heist. There should be high tension moments. They were, but like I said, it builds, and then it just stops.
And that's our opinion. It might be somebody who was invested in the characters, right?
That's just us. I sometimes, I can admit, I can be a little harsh sometimes when it comes to that stuff, but I like a good heist movie. I think one of my favorite movies, not of all time, but I do like the Oceans franchise. And the tension does build in that. Italian Job, the tension does build in that, and it all spills over.
Right.
And multiple times in the Italian Job, for example, when his father died, whenever Charlize Theron's father dies, they get betrayed. And that's an early twist that I don't care who you are. There's no way you saw that twist coming right there. But overall, it's a good film. If you're a Gerard Butler fan or an action fan, get yourself to the theater, go watch it, enjoy it. If not, wait for Redbox.
It's what I like to call a movie that's enjoyable. It's throwaway entertainment.
It is.
It's enjoyable when you watch it, but you ain't gonna be like, dang, I gotta go back and see that.
You're not actively achieving to go and watch that movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, if anything, we got like a week span here where there's really nothing coming out. Here it's like you said, the first week of February, there's really nothing, right?
Right.
That's the perfect time to go see it.
Yeah.
We got Maze Runner next week.
Unless you're a horror fan, then Winchester comes out.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're not a horror fan, that's a perfect film to go catch. You know, matinee, with your wife or something. I recommend to go see it. I think you guys will enjoy it overall. Not the greatest film in the world, but it's not terrible
at all.
It's a good film just to sit back, enjoy, especially if you like action, if you like heist, or if you're a Gerard Butler fan, which I am personally.
Or a 50 Cent fan.
But yeah, plus this is also the first time Gerard Butler actually feels invested in his own character.
You know why? I found out he was.
Oh, so he was producing it? Okay, so he was invested in every sense of the word. Right. But yeah, no, he actually, ever since 300, he's always kind of felt he's taking the roles, taking the paychecks, but that's about it. He's always been kind of checked out. This one he actually felt invested in, which makes me wonder if he was obviously sold to it if he's a producer on it. Somebody sold the idea to him. So,
well, actually, the director worked with him on London Is Falling.
Oh, he did? Okay. Fair enough. So, I mean, it's... Gerard Butler's a good action star. The man can carry an action film. I would like to see him do more of them. But he's also an actor. He probably doesn't want to get cornholed into all I do is action flicks, you know?
Right.
So, can't blame him for that. And then the second thing on here that we wanted to get to is the Tomb Raider trailer. Which... I was scared about. That is not the right trailer. I don't think. Pull this up here for you guys. Yeah, but now this trailer right here is what came out a couple days ago, I think. Came out a couple days ago. It was a trailer that I think the film needed, because prior to this, I was excited for the movie because I'm a big video game fan to begin with, and part of me wants the video game movies to not happen, but a part of me wants them to happen. If they're going to happen, let them be really good, you know?
Right.
Kind of like comic movies is, you're going to do it, you know, with these franchises that are hold dear to me, do it well, you know? This seems to be not the first attempt at a high quality video game movie, but this might be the first time where it actually performs on a rating scale well. It has critical acclaim, not just a bunch of video game fans giving it money.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil, for example. Resident Evil is not the greatest movie.
Oh, I love the Resident Evil movies unapologetically, and I know they're not good. Right? I know they're not good, but I love them.
I'm sure there's people with Transformers, you know, that's not a video game movie, but it's...
Nah, Transformers done went trash. Nah, bro. Nah.
What I'm saying is, I'm sure there's somebody who has that same opinion as you.
You can see first one was good, but anyways, we're talking about Tomb Raider. That's another can of worms.
Tomb Raider looks good. They're using practical effects, not always, obviously.
I like practical effects. We need more practical effects. I'm not one of these people that be like, "Oh, digital effects is killing the end." You know, you hear people say that, but I do like practical effects in some instances.
Yeah, but it sells action better when it doesn't look like the actor's holding onto a green bar.
Yeah.
You know? So it helps. Obviously, this is like, I'm talking about that specifically, like the puzzles, the treasures and stuff that they're interacting with are actually in their hands. It's not a little green brick that somebody went in with a computer and made it look cool.
Right.
You know, somebody actually designed it and they're playing around with it. It has little intricacies to it. So I'm excited about that. The action looks on point. Something I was scared about was they were going to make her, because she's female, they were going to make her not weak, but she wasn't going to be fighting anybody. Like, she was going to have the sidekick who did the fighting. She figured the puzzles out. And
she fighting.
Well, yeah, no. What I'm saying is it?
I wasn't worried about that. because they made Angelina in the original Tomb Raider. Angelina,
they made her a badass.
Yeah, so I wasn't worried about that at all.
Well, there's a lack of trust with Hollywood on certain things. You know what I mean?
Well, with video game movies, I completely understand.
Yeah, so there's definitely that lack of trust there. They definitely made that she's a fighter. Seems like she's gonna mess people up with that bow and arrow. They're clearly borrowing heavily from the Uncharted franchise, and more so, obviously, the reboot of the Tomb Raider video game, The Rise of Tomb Raider, which is all but pluses for me in my book. There's nothing wrong with them doing that. I think it's smarter to do that because the old Tomb Raider probably doesn't fit that well with today's generation and stuff like that. You know, short shorts and all that. But no, she seems badass. She's super smart, obviously highly intelligent. But no, I'm excited for it. This was the movie. This was the trailer that put me over the edge. Like I was gonna go always see it, no, for sure. But this is the one that made me like, okay, now I want this movie to succeed. You know?
And hopefully it does good box office, but it's in a tough fight. Because you have Wrinkle in Time, then you have Pacific Rim after the week after this, then you have Ready Player One.
And put that perspective, I mean, Wrinkle in Time is that cast is.
Yeah,
that's an iconic cast right there alone by itself.
And then a African American female director.
Yep. Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, doing a big budget movie.
Follow her on Twitter. Shout out to Ava DuVernay. She'll probably never see this, but I'm excited for it. And then but then it's also following Pacific Rim, which John Boyega, whether you hate him or like him, he's one of the more famous up and coming faces in Hollywood right now.
Right.
And he's tied to the biggest franchise in the world, Star Wars. So it's that has that power. You know, Star Wars fans are going to go see that whether they like Pacific Rim or not, just because he's in it. And then Spielberg with Ready Player One. So it's a small fish in a sea of sharks, and I want to see it succeed. I think it personally, I think it will. It'll make its money back, but like you said, in Hollywood, making your money back doesn't guarantee you anything. You have to make a lot more money, and not just overseas, but domestically. Well, right. But no, I'm excited for it. And then the last little piece, and we'll kind of not much to touch on it, but we will kind of talk about it here. Is if you're not already familiar with what this is right here, this is the teaser website for the new Cloverfield film coming out in April, right?
April 20th, 2018.
April 20th, 2018, which is also the website URL as well. Right. So that's a cool little thing, because I doubt anyone's typing those specific numbers into a URL. Mm-hmm. But no, this got decoded recently on Reddit, thanks to the internet and its undefeated record. It lasted about, not even 48 hours? Like less than a day it lasted?
Super fans, man. Yeah. Makes our jobs easier.
Not to make our jobs easier, we don't have to sweat over it. We can just wait a day and be good to go. But because this Cloverfield's on your list, man, so I'm gonna let you take away with this right here. If you just wanted to read this out, because I don't think it's viewable here.
Well, basically what it's saying, I'm not gonna read it completely out, but basically what it's saying is they're developing a new technology. They need 6 international people, I guess, from all across the world, to experiment with this technology. And that kind of plays into the premise of the movie. Yeah. And basically what they're doing, this is their way of doing a teaser trailer without necessarily showing any of the movie, because Cloverfield always been kind of sworn in secrecy. Yeah. So to speak, with J.J. Abrams marketing. And that's really about it. I mean, this is more for big fans of it. Yeah. You know, casual fans, y'all probably just going to want to wait on the trailer. Yeah. Which I think, which I'm not saying everybody see the Cloverfield movies like them, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I think Cloverfield is a well-liked franchise. I don't think I've really never heard people in passing say anything bad about it.
Me either. When people watch it, they enjoy it.
Yeah, people watch it, they enjoy it. I have a couple of casual fans that I work. I don't want to call them casual, but you know, they don't go to the movies quite often. They probably go 3-4 times a year, and I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Cloverfield. It's it's not a hated franchise. In most films, there's always that split fan base. They like it, and they don't like it. This one just seems to have hardcore fans love it, the casual fans love it. It's
and then other people who it's cool.
It's cool. Like nobody's really. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it. So it's a well executed film. I think I said this to you before. After the ending of the second one, I was scared that they were going to be doing a continuation of her story. You broke it down to me and everything. Now, this isn't confirmation that they aren't going to do that, but the way you broke it down, I feel fairly confident that this is just going to be a third film in that world.
Right.
Which is a good thing, guys. It's just more original content that I think we need.
And I think that's what, and then we're not going to go on too long about it, but I think that's why J.J. Abrams is using the Cloverfield universe to bring out these original films that might have been in development hell if not for him pulling it out and putting it a part of the Cloverfield.
Because Till Cloverfield Lane was in development hell before it became Cloverfield.
Yeah, it was called the Cellar.
Yeah, because it wasn't supposed to be a Cloverfield movie.
And this movie is the same way.
Yeah,
the upcoming movie. So
that's good. That's a prime example of taking something that's already existing, building on it, but doing something new with it. Kind of like what Neil Blomkamp was trying to do with the Aliens franchise.
Right.
Was, yes, it's established, we'll get it greenlit, but it's going to be new, a fresh take on everything. Kind of like a reboot for a video game. Mm-hmm. You know, Rise of Tomb Raider, God of War, etc. So that's a good thing. I mean, we'll talk more about it. We'll probably, like you said, I think you said we'll get a trailer March, probably.
March sometime.
Yeah, so we'll break down that trailer. We'll talk about it more. We'll get into a little bit more details. I know this dude's it was like his number 7 on your top 10 list.
Yeah, my anticipated list was number 7.
So I'm sure this dude's probably foaming at the mouth to kind of dive into a trailer and talk about it.
And yeah.
But I mean that's today's episode, episode 8 of the Film Planet podcast. You know, like always, like, share, comment, subscribe, give us that feedback. Me and Jamal are actively looking at the comments on YouTube or on Twitter as well. I'll link that everything in the description below. But,
and we'll have a logo soon, and we're moving into a studio.
Yeah,
so
logo soon. Well, it's not a studio, but it's a much nicer area.
Yeah, but so it'll be a lot more.
Yeah. Everything will the quality will go up times 10.
Times 10, yeah.
Specifically in the audio area. So, but we're excited about it. A lot of changes coming. We're still growing. To be honest with you, I didn't think we'd be going this strong into episode 8 for the podcast, but here we are. So, I'm excited to see what 2018 has for us because, like I've been using hashtag best podcast 2018.
Right.
So, but anyways, it was great talking to you guys. We will see you again next week. We're going to be talking about
Maze Runner review or any other movie news that pops up.
Which is Hollywood, so that's very possible. But other than that, peace.